Hi there, it's Christy with Life in Specs. Here are the specs. I'm here today with a big stack of books for you. As I've mentioned in previous videos, I am vegan. I've been vegan for 2 years plus. And the reason that I decided to change my diet was because I was having such significant health issues. And I have to be honest that my health issues have not completely cleared up. I still have chronic fatigue. I still have digestive issues from Crohn's disease once in a while. Right now it seems like kind of consistently on and off. But none of my illnesses are as significant as they were before I changed my diet. And also there are a lot of other benefits that I have gotten. Once I decided to change my lifestyle in the dietary realm, I somehow got a new filter over my eyes, and somehow I started seeing violence and cruelty everywhere I looked. I've been doing a lot more research into the idea of nonviolence in Christianity, and it's a really big topic, so I may do another video on that coming up. Today's video, however, has nothing to do with God. It has to do with the health benefits of veganism. And not just veganism, but really trying to eat as many whole foods as possible. They are very different diets. I could eat a diet of French fries and potato chips and call myself vegan because I'm not harming any creatures by eating these foods. And I do think that that is very valuable because I don't believe we should be harming other creatures if we can help it. Those creatures were also created by God, and they have their own purposes and their own thoughts, and it's not my responsibility to destroy them. On the other hand, I could be trying to eat the healthiest foods possible, and those are plant foods, as close to their whole state as possible. It's a little trickier because, of course, some chopping and cooking is required in some cases. However, it is well regarded to be the most healthy and life-extending way to eat that is known to humankind. In case you are a reader, as I am, or even if you're not, these are some great resource materials to have on hand if you are thinking about improving your health in any way. These will give you some direction. You probably have already seen this one, or maybe you even saw Dr. Greger on PBS because he has a PBS special that I think it's only played in Ohio so far. But I'll put a link to it down below because you can watch it on his website, as well as many other of his wonderful videos. And Dr. Greger is fantastic because he is the main dude with nutritionfacts.org, where he reviews all of the scientific literature and compresses it into 5 minutes and under little videos that we can absorb and make decisions on regarding our health and nutrition. It's fantastic. He's fantastic. I feel like he's my friend because I've watched so many of his videos and because I keep rereading this book all the time. The first half of the book is divided into 15 chapters, one each for each of the top 15 causes of death. So down the list: heart disease, lung diseases, brain diseases, digestive cancers, infections, diabetes, high blood pressure, liver diseases, blood cancers, kidney disease, breast cancer, suicidal depression, prostate cancer, Parkinson's disease, and iatrogenic causes, which is doctors causing death. The second half of the book is the 12 most healthful foods to eat on a daily basis and what they do inside your body to help you be healthier. I can't recommend this book enough. It should be required reading for every doctor and every other medical professional who exists. In fact, it should be required reading for every human being. Here it is again, and the links will be in the drop-down box down below so you can get yourself a copy of all these fabulous books. The second book I recommend is Eat to Live by Dr. Joel Fuhrman. He also has a PBS special, and you can see that on YouTube. I'll put links to that down below so you can watch it if you'd like. And it's pretty much the summary of this book. Dr. Fuhrman is the one who talks the most about nutrient density and about how we are the healthiest when we eat foods that have the highest nutrient density, which means per calorie, they have the most nutrients. And it's super smart. We're all gonna eat stuff that doesn't have too many nutrients in it, but the more we can decrease those foods and increase the more nutrient dense foods, the healthier we're going to be. Fabulous book. He also has another one called The End of Dieting, and that one's really, really good too. It's very encouraging about how when we eat the right foods, the nutrients meet our needs and we're able to eat a sufficient volume of food because the nutrients are high and the calories are low, that we aren't just hungry all the time. And usually we naturally gravitate towards a healthy weight when we do that. I recommend all of his books, in fact, and him in particular. I admire him and think he is a great doctor, doing great things and writing great books. The next doctor I'm going to recommend is Dr. Neal Barnard. And I have here 4 books by him. I don't know which one to talk through first, but probably this one, Eat Right, Live Longer. I really love that Dr. Barnard runs the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, also known as PCRM, and they do a lot of research, and these books come out of that research. So he's not just some dude on the internet saying, hey, you should eat a lot of eggs and red meat because they'll make you buff. He is an actual researcher who looks into the effects of nutrition on the human body. And he writes books from all different angles that talk about the results that he's seen and the results that are shown in the scientific literature. This one is about longer life, which is a great thing, and even has some recipes in the back. This one is about hopefully not getting Alzheimer's or other age-related dementias. I think everyone wants to not get Alzheimer's or dementia, so I'm glad to have this in my library. I then have Breaking the Food Seduction, which I kind of bought because I have a number of friends who deal with what I think they would probably call food addiction, or simply a really deep compulsion to eat more food than they need to survive or to even enjoy. I'm really fascinated by the play between what we want to eat versus what our species is actually designed to eat. And this book addresses that very well. In addition to The Pleasure Trap by Dr. Lyle and Dr. Goldhammer, these 2 books work together to kind of explain why we do things that are not good for us and how we can break out of that in a healthy way. The next book by Dr. Barnard that I recommend is Foods That Fight Pain. I have read this one a lot of times. Oh, this one got water damaged recently, it looks like. We had a bit of a leak in a storm and we're having to get our roof redone in one spot, and all of my nutrition books were in that spot, and it looks like this one got a little damp. Oh, that's a bummer. I thought they were all dry. Oh, it smells disgusting. Oh, it's all musty. I'm gonna have to get a new copy of this. Please get a copy of this, but make sure it's not water damaged. I will be replacing this, I think. This one is super great, especially for me, because I have a lot of health stuff that can lead to pain and discomfort, including inflammatory bowel disease, including thyroid problems, Hashimoto's thyroiditis, which can lead to a lot of joint pain, and so can Crohn's disease. And there are a lot of other things that I wish to, in fact, Crohn's disease causes a lot of pain in itself. I found this book especially helpful because you can page right to the type of pain that you're having, like arthritis or digestive pain or cancer pain, and you can find there specific foods and strategies that can help you manage it better. Super great book once again. Thank you, Dr. Barnard. The last one I'm going to mention is the China Study. This one is more of a scientific read, although it's not difficult to read. It does have some charts. There are a lot of studies listed in the references because he cites a lot of different studies. The basic idea is that Dr. T. Colin Campbell did a huge study in China about nutrition and wellness, nutrition and health. Because China is big and because there are so many different little groups within China that eat very different diets, they were able to make some very interesting comparisons between these groups, what they ate and what their health was. And you can't say, of course, that just because this group in China ate this and never got sick, that if I eat that same thing, I will never get sick, because my environment is different, my genetics are slightly different. But what they did find was that genetics are much less important than what we put into our body. And we are much less likely to get all manner of illnesses if we eat mostly plants, and as much in their whole state as possible. If you would like to read more about that study, this book is available and I will put the link down below. I don't really use cookbooks because I find them very expensive picture books, and I can get most of the actual cooking advice online, which is what I do. And I have a few favorite websites that I go to, a few favorite YouTube people I watch, and that's how I get my ideas for what to cook and how to cook it, because cooking methods are a little bit different. That is my stack of extremely favorite books, and I have a huge pile of nutrition books. I've bought almost every one that comes out on the topic of plants and nutrition because it's a big deal, not only for my own health, but for the well-being of other sentient creatures who live on this planet, and also for the well-being of the planet itself. I don't have books on environmentalism, but it is a big deal. I believe we're called to safeguard the earth as much as we can and to be the guardians of it. And I think we are doing a terrible job at that, and that makes me sad. We're also doing a terrible job at taking care of all of the creatures that God made, and that was part of our job. That's what He wanted us to be doing. And we're also not doing it. This is one of the ways that I want to change that, is through this change in my diet. And I also, of course, would like to be as healthy as possible, and this seems like a good route for all of those things. If you have questions, you can leave them down below in the comment section, and of course, check the info box for more. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.